Spirit Spark Plug's motto is anyone can make a difference, and what's in your hands, because whatever's in your hands is what will make you passionate. So sometimes people tell me, what can I do or what can I make? And I say, well, if I told you to make cards, but you don't like making cards but you love knitting, then knit, because knitting's what you're good at and knitting's what you love. And so, yeah, Spirit Spark Plugs is about a community coming together, and we're like a channel for the children to receive the packages. So we take what anyone's made. And the thing with Spirit Spark Plugs too is that it's not about us, but it's about our donators, and it's about the kids who receive. And so anyone that donates anything, we get them to attach their name tag to it. You know, whether it's Helen Myers in Nelson has made a knitted teddy bear, and we send that on to a child, and that child realises that, wow, she gets this teddy bear. It's not just a donated thing, it's got personalisation and it's got a name, and she sees that, wow, like this Helen Myers in Nelson has really put a lot of time and love and energy to it, and it makes it more special, it makes it more personalised because it's got a name behind it. And Helen Myers in Nelson also, she's making this thing for the child knowing that it's going with a piece of her. She's not making and donating it to a big organisation which takes it and it becomes anonymous. It's going with a piece of her on it, so she knows that the child that receives it in Auckland or Hamilton or Taupo, you know, she knows that, yeah, that child will know where it's come from, and there's a link there, you know. And businesses or other organisations that donate things, or businesses that donate product, we get them to attach their name tag on it, because I believe that it's not just about what you can give me or what you can give me, but it's also about what I can give you back, you know. And so organisations or businesses or individuals or whoever, a big thing we love to do is give back by attaching the name tag, by thanking people. And anything that's donated, we take a photo of it and put it up on the Facebook page, so that people on the Facebook page can also follow what's going on, and they feel like they're included in it as well, because they're seeing what's coming through. You know, there's a lot of support for well-known illnesses, but if you've got a rare illness, there's not often a lot of support. And it was certainly a gap we were noticing, where there were kids and families that felt very isolated and felt very alone and felt very much like they were doing their journey on their own. So, you know, and we experienced that in my own life and in my own family. And so Spirit Spark Plugs offered the ability to bridge a gap between two very separate worlds, you know, the world where well people and people who didn't understand chronic illness or know what that was about, and then obviously the families who are in the depths of illness and struggling and disability. And Spirit Spark Plugs was born or birthed out of my own injury. I was bedbound for 6 months and homebound for 3.5 years, and have been in the wheelchair for 6. And initially I didn't have use of my left hand side, and you know, I was bedbound, and I was like, well, what can I do? Because I can't do anything, but I want to do something. Like, what can I do even without having the ability to do anything else? And so I just started leaving messages on other young people's websites, because I had a journal that I updated on with my journey, so that we didn't have to repeat it 50,000 times a day, you know, and people could go there and follow and read where we were at, or what treatment I was having, or whatever was going on at the time. And I knew how much getting the messages meant to me, so I was like, man, if these messages mean so much to me, you know, how much more do they mean to someone else receiving them? So I was just like, I can't do a lot, but what can I do? Like, what's in my hands that I've got to offer in this very broken state? And I just started there. It's like, well, if I'm setting up a website, I'm already sending out packages out of my own, like I'd order stuff offline and get Dad to help me wrap them and then send them out to kids and stuff. And I was like, if I'm already doing that, well, what if I put that onto the website too? That gives the opportunity for others to donate. And if I can send out this many packages, if I got more people involved, I could send out this many or this many, and how many more kids would be touched and impacted. Like, you know, I haven't technically paid worked for the last 6 years, but there's so many things that the little things add up and the little steps add up. And even though I hadn't had paid work, all the things I've done and the voluntary things I've done at home have added up, and they all added into my CV. And I recently got a job with Idea Services as a coordinator for the South Advocacy Group, which is super exciting. And you know, I could have looked at it and think, man, I've been out of work 6 years and it's really hard, and you know, what have I got to offer? But I think all the little things that I did along the way, and setting up Spirit Spark Plugs and just looking for what can I do with what's in my hands, and that might not be a lot right now, but start with what is here in your hands right now and just make that next step, because that step will add up to that step, and this step is a long way away, but this step and this step and this step, each step will get you closer to the goal. And if you fall down, that's okay. Like, you just take a breath, stand up, brush your knees off, and take that next step. And the minute you take that next step, you're one step further already than you were, and it pays off. And I'm really blessed for the opportunity I have now to get my hands involved in this. And I really encourage you, if you're struggling today, to just take that next step, as small as it is, because the steps add up and it will pay off eventually. And I hope the real best for you, and I hope you can take courage and know that one step at a time, but you'll get there. It's about a healthy community, is having community in lots of communities, because you meet so many different people that you wouldn't otherwise meet if you just based your whole community in one community. And I love networking with others, and I love connecting with others and building relationship and friendship, because there's so much you can draw from so many different people and backgrounds and experiences, and it makes life full and it makes life rich. And I love to look at, I love to look at what can I do, not what can't I do, because there's a lot of things I can't do, but there's still a lot of things I can do. So what can I do with my capacity, and then what's that next step I can take? And I've got a quote I say a lot, it's one step at a time, but soon enough when we look back, those steps turn into miles. It's just one step at a time and one step at a time. But each of those one steps really adds up. And I've come now so much further than so many people ever thought I could or would. And I look forward to seeing where I am in another 5 or 10 years, and that really excites me. A lot of these boxes are filled with bits and pieces and crafting material that we made stuff from. A lot of our gifts have been given away now. We don't have a lot of resource now, and so what I'd love to do is restart, I don't know, speaking out about it, so that if there's people in the community who are like, I want to do something and I want to continue making this thing, but I don't have anyone to give it to put our hands up and say, hey, you know, we're here and we would love to be able to partner with you to say, you know, to give you an opportunity to do that thing that you love and make those things, and know that you're making a difference to, you know, some of the kids' lives that are struggling, that are home. You know, we don't know how many kids are homebound, bedbound, hospital-bound, and young adults homebound, bedbound, and hospital-bound, because you're hidden from the world. You know, when I was bedbound, I was hidden. Like, the only person really in our street or in our town that knew there was a 22-year-old girl bedbound was the lady down the hill, who would be up at night and look up and see a light in our house on at 2 and 3 a.m. in the morning, because I was in such severe pain I couldn't sleep. But I wasn't the only one, and I'm not the only one, there's heaps of people isolated and hidden from the world, and I would love to be able to reach out to them and say, hey, you're not alone, and you still have a community behind you, supporting you and caring. Yeah. These are a few of the toys that have been handmade by ladies in our community to help local kids. There's a lot of different things, you know, knitting's one example, but crafting or woodwork or whatever's in your hands, and I want to know what you have in your hands to help our local kids in the community as well.